Boom. Peace and love, world. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Zoe. This is episode 72. Conversation with Zoe times Jay Walker.
Yes, sir.
What's good, baby? How you doing, bro?
Appreciate you for having me, bro.
Listen,
I love
man.
what you're doing. I love your platform, and I'm here to support.
Nah, man. No, thank you, bro. This is an exclusive that not many get. So, off our baseball relationship and our brotherhood, I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Right.
You blessing my platform, bro.
Nah, I appreciate you for having me, and at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Nowadays, we got to support each other. All that ego shit, that shit is out the window. If that's your homie and he got a podcast, you need to be on that podcast. If your homie got a clothing line, you need to be wearing that clothing line.
I know what matter, baby.
You feel me? Because that's the only way we're going to win. 2021, if we don't stick together, it'll never work. There ain't no iron team, But there isn't me. Nah, I'm just joking.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you, man. So, we met through playing baseball. You know what I'm saying? So, do you miss it at all? What was your playing career like?
Baseball for me was wonderful. I played baseball starting at the age of 2. Thankful that my father taught me the game at a young age. I was nice. I was nice. For a little guy, not too many little guys can move like me. But it was great. I got the opportunity to play in the Little League World Series at the age of 12, which not many kids in the world, not only New York, in the world, get the opportunity
to do.
You can Google that. That's a fact. The Cooperstown, the here, the there, all those big things as a team growing up that you want to do. We did all of that. Tournaments, traveling, Florida, Puerto Rico. We played all over. And we had some of the best traveling teams in the city. We were untouchable.
Yeah.
From the Outsiders to the Bonnies, to the Boys Club, all over. We were just untouchable, Pelham Parkway, Little League, that's where I started. Met a lot of good people there, and that's where it really started for me, Pelham Parkway.
So I'm very big on transferable skills. So anything from baseball that you learn that you've been able to take with you to other ventures or other hustles or, just other things that you've been able to accomplish from baseball, like skills or discipline, commitment, anything.
Absolutely. The first one you said is a big one, discipline. Without discipline, and it's not only in baseball, that's just anything you do in life. I learned that since young. One thing my father definitely put in me since young. Discipline was a big thing. Without that, ain't really much you could do. You could do whatever you want, but with no discipline, you're going to be all over the place. So let's get that straight. Discipline was one. Hard work pays off. That's something that was always engraved in me also. The work, whatever you put in, that's what you get out, and that's with anything in life also. So those are 3 big ones that always stuck with me to this day.
What are some of your top baseball moments? Like you think about it, like randomly it just pops up in your head, like a moment, a walk-off, any just moments that just sticks out to you?
Yeah, I'll touch a few. One bad one that I would say was at the Little League World Series. I don't really pitch that much, but they put me to pitch because all the pitchers was hurt or couldn't pitch because of the 7-day rule or whatever it was. So I pitched the second game in the Little League World Series against Richmond, Virginia, I think it was. No, not Richmond, another team from out the country. First batter of the game, curveball, smacks that shit over the fence. And for me, I was like, we made it to this platform. Like, damn, how that shit happened. But we ended up winning the game anyway. So I'll say that was a bad one. Good one, there was plenty of good ones. Like I said, the Little League World Series was one. Many a walk-off home runs. One good one that I could say, I remember I hit a walk-off grand slam inside the park. The field was an open field, no fence. I say the shit went about 450. I hit the shit about 320. And the shit kept rolling. The outfielder was running back to catch it, went behind his head, kept rolling. Grand slam, and I'll never forget that day,
Yeah. So then, let's transition to Boys Club days. Like, shout out to the Boys Club, man. They do amazing work, and they've changed a lot of lives, for, young men of color from the inner city. So, the Boys Club, like, I know my experience, but, like, what was that process like for you with, like, applying and all of that stuff?
Well, shout out to Bill Mitchell and everybody over there at the Boys Club. Salute to them.
Aponte, my guys, Sean Atkins, all those guys.
Yes, sir. My guy Mike
Augusto, That's the homie right
Yes,
there.
sir.
Man. Shout out to him.
Shout out to all of them. It's been years I haven't spoke to all of them, but I appreciate everything each and every one of them did to get me in the position that they were able to get me in. The process for the Boys Club was kind of easy though. Rob, longtime friend, family member of mine, he's the one that kind of plugged me in, and it wasn't no process really. We got there, the skills was there, the unity was there, and we just got rolling. You know, within 2 years, we was on our way to prep school.
Yeah. So you ended up going to Church Farms.
CFS, out in Exton.
Yeah. How'd you like it there? What was like the first couple weeks? Cause you younger than me, so you were what? 14 at the time? 13, 14?
When I left, I was 13 that summer, turning 14 in October, yeah.
So, a kid from, what's your block in the Bronx?
Woody Crest.
You from Woody Crest, right? So you ended from Woody Crest, and now you're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Right?
Big difference.
At 13 years old, tell us about the transition.
Well, the name was called Church Farm. We was literally like /half farm and crazy amount of acres. I forgot the amount, but it was stupid. We had our own room. Everybody had the dorm. You know what it was like. But for the people that don't know, boarding school, prep school, when you go away, it's similar to a college setting. I'll put it like that. It's a college setting just in high school. You start prepping how to be independent, you know. You might have your own room. I was fortunate enough, 1 out of the 3 years I was there, to have a single my senior year. Or you might have a roommate. You might have to deal with the he's dirty, he's clean, gotta figure him out. If you don't like him, you gotta switch it out. So same process as college, just on a lower level, you know. But it was a great experience. I got to be on my own. I learned how to wash my own clothes, you know, do things for myself, shit like that. Wake up on my own rather than my mom waking me up to go to school. Things like that, you know, and that all comes back to what we mentioned earlier, discipline and all that stuff.
That's crazy, because those are some of the things that people don't really, like those are I love details, so people don't really pay attention to those kind of things, and it affects you as an adult. You know, it could affect you in a negative way or in a positive way. And in a positive way, as an adult, you know how to move a little more. You know what I'm saying? You've been outside your block, you know, you're not confined to this, you know, 1 to 2 mile radius, you know, because you could really, like, if you speak to a person that never left the hood, their mentality is so different. You know what I'm saying?
It's small because they never left, and it's unfortunate, and that's all over in multiple hoods. Not only in yours and not only in mine. Anybody that come from the struggle, that come from the bottom, that been there, you will know, you know. And if you never had the opportunity to go places, you can't show or speak on certain things. Why? Because you never been there. I got plenty of homies that's 30, 35, plenty of dudes. My right-hand man right now, he's doing 18 years in the feds, and he never been to DR. Not only him, plenty of kids just in my hood, DR, LA, Vegas, out the country, London, none of those places, you know. And they had the money to do it. They could have did it, but they were just so stuck on one situation, you know, which is cool. Everything works for everybody on its own, you know. And that's just how I work, you know. But I say that to say this: you can't stay stuck in one place. You gotta get out. You gotta explore, and you gotta experience. That's what life is about.
Absolutely. So, the height of your career is leading into Church Farms. Jay Walker is born in that time period. So, what were you feeling towards baseball that you were like, I'm gonna do this?
Jay Walker actually started a little before that, because I left the Church Farm, I would say 10th grade. My freshman year, I went to high school in New York. Clinton, DeWitt Clinton, shout out to all the governors. Shout out to everybody that was in Clinton with me freshman year, running through them halls. If you was in Clinton, you know it was a wild time. It was a wild time, 2008, 2007, it was nasty in Clinton. So if you made it out of Clinton, salute to you. I was just thankful and blessed with the Boys Club opportunity to leave Clinton after freshman year and take my talents, you know, to Exton.
Okay, so I actually didn't know you went to Clinton for a year.
Yeah, I went to Clinton my freshman year. I didn't go into boarding school until sophomore year.
Oh yeah, so same as us. Yeah, we all went in sophomore year.
It was 10th grade year. I did freshman year in Clinton, and Jay Walker started, I would say, 8th grade in middle school. And that was me getting into the team parties and just selling tickets. You know, I wasn't even throwing my own parties yet. I was working for another company in the Bronx up in Sofa Lounge, and just selling tickets. I watched how they worked for about a year, and then I just said to myself, I see how this is operating. I build enough relationships. Now I put my own money up, and I start doing the same thing they was doing, and that's when we took it to the next level. Now instead of me working, now I'm the boss. I'm the headliner. Now I'm employing people. I'm putting people in position. You could work the door. You could DJ. You a big guy from the block. Come on, come work security. You feel me? And ever since young, 14, 13, I've been putting people in position.
That's crazy, man. So young, you know, get into it,
That
seeing
was before.
something.
That was before boarding school.
Yeah.
So once I left the boarding school, it kind of, I had to take a pause on certain things, but I was never out the loop. I was still throwing events in the city, and my team was so strong enough at the time to run the event without me being there, and I was still the face of it. So I wasn't there. I was still getting paid. I'm out in school. I'm doing my thing out there, working at school, because I had a kitchen job, or I used to work doing the dishwasher, me and my boy H. So after baseball practice, we in school, we ain't doing shit. I'm a hustler. Any hustler know we gonna get it by any means. So I got the job in the kitchen. Miss Claudia, she was the one that ran the kitchen in the school. We was making $400 or $500 a week in there, working 4 or 5 hours a day. So it was like 13. That was a few dollars. I got my party shit going now. We got that popping and this popping. All as a student, you feel me? And not many people could do that at a young age, but I was just thankful. Since young, I knew how to move, I knew how to create opportunity, and I didn't have to wait until after high school to try to find a job or to start late in the game. You know,
Yeah.
we got it rolling early.
So for you, you got to start early. Get
Yes,
him
sir.
early. Start early. So that's
12 years old. We was outside. That term outside, I was outside before y'all could even come outside. You heard? Y'all had to ask y'all mom to come outside. You heard?
So you in the club. So how did you get the respect of your peers? Like, because now you got people older than you taking orders from you, and you young.
Well, before, I won't say taking orders all the time, but you know, before that, partnerships, you know, you work with certain people, you build with certain people, and it's all about building good relationships and never burning bridges. One thing I learned in this industry, on the way up, you're gonna see the same people on the way down. So if you shit on them, not every day gonna be a good day. And it might be that one rainy day, you heard, and you're gonna need that person. Trust me. And they ain't gonna pick up that call. So my best advice to anyone watching this, don't burn a bridge that you're gonna need to walk over in the future. And it's that simple.
And it's that simple. Yeah, so when does baseball start to be like, this is not a waste of time, but I'm not getting no money out of this, so I'm gonna just move on?
Well, baseball, I never looked at baseball as a job. It was always a hobby. So
Yeah.
I never looked at it like I was gonna make money off of it. I always had big dreams of like going pro or maybe doing something with it. But I never looked at it as a job.
Mm.
But to answer your question, when I say it was over, it was senior year. It was a play. I hit a home run. Another inside the park incident. I'm running home. As I'm sliding home, bang, bang, play. The catcher jumps up to grab the ball, and as he lands, metal cleats right on my ankle as I'm sliding into the plate. And that's where it was over. I broke my ankle. I was in the hospital for about a week. I came out crutches in a wheelchair, and I'm pulling back up to the campus. Everybody looking at me, they thought it was just like a light sprain or something, and they ain't know I broke my ankle. So at that point, the star of the team was gone, and that's when I knew for me, it was over. You know,
Yeah.
we gotta figure something else out.
Yeah. So so then now we can get into, you know, the era, right? And this is like my favorite part. The Ride and Cheats era. You know, the X Bar, Avalon, buy your tickets at like Salsa Rincon, and you know, you at the CD store buying tickets, and like let's like, for anybody that is 20, I want to say 25 and better, maybe 26 and better, or 28 and better, you know what we was talking about. So
Definitely 26 and
definitely 26 and over, right? The Ride and Cheats era, man. How was your experience there, man?
For me, I say it started in 2007.
Yes, sir. Yep. Cause I was at Ohio. We was at Ohio's then.
Yeah,
So it's crazy. We was in high school. You wasn't even in high school yet.
I was in when your freshman year. I was in seventh grade.
Seventh grade.
And the summer of seventh grade for me, I was I think 11 turning 12. That's when everything started. In that era, as you mentioned, I started selling tickets for these events. I started off basically with 20 tickets. That's what they started me off with. The first week, I sold those 20 tickets. The next week, they gave me 40. Sold those next week 100. Then at the fourth week, it was like, yo, instead of you selling tickets, we want to, since you so powerful, let's try this. So we tried something else. And then that's when all right, now I'm in the door. I see what's going on. So like I said, any hustler, once you figure out how to get it going, you're going to cut out the middleman and you're going to do what you got to do to get it going. And that's what I did. So it went from that. Now we start doing our own shit, Sky Ballroom. They left Sofa Lounge. There was nobody there. We went back. We put up our own money for the same location that we used to work at. Now we running the show. And all this is facts. You can Google it. Jaywalk Team Party, All Pro Team Party, Sofa Lounge Team Party. Any of those three things I mentioned, you type in on YouTube, millions of views. And you'll see how crazy it is. 3,000 people inside, 2,000 outside, can't even get in. You know, but for those that was there, know what that was like. And for those that wasn't there, you missed out on a crazy party experience. Because for us, we was younger, we didn't really have that. You know, Skate Key closed down. It wasn't. The only thing we used to do as a kid, maybe Times Square, ice skating here, things like that, or whatever our parents would take us to do on the side. But for us, that was something we enjoy every Friday, every Tuesday, every Saturday in the summer. We know on these dates every week this is where it's at, and it just became a part of the lifestyle for that time, you know?
Yeah.
And it is what you make it.
I remember waiting on those lines, man. You used to have to get out there early.
I mean, I don't know about the line.
I know about the lines. Anybody that was on the line, shout out to the people on the line, man.
Shout out to the people on the line.
We was holding it down out there,
without y'all, it won't be a party at the end of the
right.
day. But I can't speak on the lines, I'll be honest. I'm not Hollywood or nothing like that.
But
listen. I've waited on lines, like if I go on vacation or the venues that people don't know me or I'm out of town. But in New York, I don't think I ever waited on the line.
And shout outs to me, because when I saw him, I knew I was getting off the line. You know what I'm saying? So
a lot of people did. And you know what's funny that you say that? Because on nights like that, I would either put my phone on mute or turn it off completely, because there's 100 people outside. Yo, whoa, come get me. Then when I come get one person, there's 40 other people with their group right around the gate. Yo. So it become a conflict, you know?
Yeah.
But eventually, as you grow as a brand and as a company, you learn how to deal with those things, you know? And
you say the name at the door. That's what I used to do.
Exactly.
It was his security team. So I know I'm going to wait a little bit. Once I get to a certain point, I knew who to see, who to ask for. Now I'm in the door.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing I love about that era is that we was sober. See, it was no alcohol being served in there. We was buying $5 water, no drugs, no nothing. There was no weed, no nothing.
Yeah.
We was just, Pepe jeans, grinding on Sean John jeans, and we was getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that was a great time, bro.
Yes, sir.
So, what your parents say about all of this? Like, you was out late.
In the beginning, well, when it was just selling ticket kind of thing, it was just regular, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing going on. Then as I started doing my own thing, they still didn't know how hands-on I was until one night we had went out to eat. There was a restaurant there before BBQs. I forgot the name of it. But we were in there eating. It was me and my mom. It was her birthday. I'll never forget. And the same night I had a party. So we ate. She left, but before she left, I'm like, yo, this is my spot right here. 2,000 people right there. She like, yo. So I'm like, yo, come on, walk with me real quick. Walk with me. She see me get in, and it was like, yo, this is your shit. You got this shit. Like, I didn't know you was doing shit like this. Then the following week, I guess she was like cleaning my room or looking through it or my drawers. She found like a little wad of money, and she came to question me, you know, and she was curious to know where I was getting the money from. She wanted to make sure I wasn't having no dealings in the street and stuff like that, which I never had. But And that's where it was coming from. So when she seen it the week prior, it all made sense, you know. And I say that to say this: you gotta figure out what you want to do in life. Don't wait until you're done with college to try to figure out business-wise. You don't gotta throw parties. You don't gotta do what I do or what I've done, because I don't do that anymore. I say, as far as throwing parties, I'm retired. My friends don't like that, and I get like by popular demand. A lot of people in my inbox, well, we need you. The clubs miss you. We want you to come back. We're not coming out until you come back. But I say my jersey is hung as far as the clubs.
Yeah.
I put my time in, and a lot of people don't understand. I've been out since 12.
Yeah.
And at 15, I was throwing 18 and over parties. At 18, I'm in 21 and over parties. So it's like before y'all was even getting into certain spots or even going out to have y'all first drink, I already did that. And I did it for more than 10 years already. So it's like, I put my time in, it's cool, and I still got a team. I got people in the club. I got DJs, I got X, Y, and Z under me. So at the end of the day, I'm there in spirit. I don't gotta be there physically. I come out when I want to, and that's the luxury about being a boss.
Yeah. So then, let's talk about the strip club. How did that? So you went from teen bashes to 18 and over to 21 and over, and now we in the strip club. What was the first strip club you promoted for?
First one, Divas.
Divas.
Yeah, Divas. A lot of people might not know about Divas. I've been to other spots. But,
Divas is downtown?
No, Divas is in the Bronx on 177th. It's close to West Farms. For the drivers that get off that highway on 177th, now it's like a bus depot. They sell the little yellow and orange vests and the hard hats for like the truck and the bus driver.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, the bus drivers. But that was a spot called Divas Gentlemen's Club. I started doing that, I would say late 2010. And for me, that was my first experience. I started off, I had my own night every Friday, 4-play Fridays, just as a promoter. I had that shit so crazy every Friday, they give me Saturdays too. There was no promoters there. So when I got there, I was the first promoter in that club. I won't say first strip club promoter, but in that club, I was the first promoter ever. So it went from me promoting one day, then they gave me Saturday. So now everybody knows Friday, Saturday, we all got that shit jumping. That's the spot to be. Then 6 months later, I ended up becoming the manager of the club. And at this time, I say, 10 years ago, 17, managing the strip club. I got no strip club experience. I'm just there or for what I know or for what I seen, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how that went. But it was a great run. I managed the spot, I'll say, for about 2 years. Shout out to my man T out in Jersey, always show love. Managed that spot for about 2 years, and then the Marshalls had to close it down for something going on with the building.
Yeah.
Nothing in our control.
Yeah.
And then from there, I started getting back into other strip clubs, doing the same thing, promoting, getting my own night. From there, we went to Sue's Rendezvous.
Shout out to Sue,
in Mount Vernon, which is no longer open.
Yeah.
A lot of famous people came from there. I'm not going to mention no names, but if you know, just do your homework. You know what I mean? Sue's, Key Club in the Bronx, Crazy Horse was another crazy one that we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Perfections in Queens. We used to have Mondays when I was working with Pro Style out there in Queens. That was crazy. Perfections. If you've never been to Perfections, you won't understand. Whole different experience. Then I took over in Queens at one point. I had Heavens every Friday. We had Cityscapes Wednesday nights, Heavens Sundays. Then other spots too, we had just dibbled and dabbing. But the strip club era was definitely a great era, a lot of money. And it was a little more advanced from the regular club because now you got strippers there, so you don't gotta go to a regular club and look for females or try to dance with a female.
Yeah.
You know you go in there and everything you want and looking at, enjoying the night is there. So that's why everyone goes there, you know?
Yeah, I never looked at it that way, but it does make sense. That,
right.
You know, it's almost like the end of the night at the beginning of the night.
Exactly.
When you go to a strip club.
No hassle.
No hassle. So then, how did you manage relationships with women as a promoter? Or being in the nightlife in general?
Well, I haven't really been in many. It was a handful. If you know, you know. But it's not easy. And for whoever you're dealing with, they gotta have an understanding on what you're dealing with. You feel me? Because it might look a certain way, but it ain't the way it look. You feel me?
Yeah.
But it is what you make it at the end of the day. You
Mm-hmm.
know? And if there's trust and there's honesty, and I say that's about it. You know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
y'all gotta have that understanding with each other.
Yeah.
And if not, it won't work.
Yeah, it won't. So then, now we're transitioning from the strip club era, and what happens? What's our next move now? Because that you had a good run, and what did you transition to afterwards?
Well, throughout the strip club era, we were still throwing regular nightclub parties, things like that, outdoor events whenever it was nice and we had the opportunity. But once the clubs, basically, at one point for me, it was just like I felt like it was not a curse, but timing is everything, and everything happens for a reason. So the same way the shit happened when I broke my ankle in baseball, for me that was the line. As far as the strip clubs, it was like hip hop police maybe shut this spot down, and there might have been a shooting at this spot, which closed that spot for good. And it just so happened to be that all the spots that I was working at, within the span of 2 months, 6 different spots that I've been working at for more 3 to 8 years, each spot closed. And it was just like within a 2-month frame, and I was like, yo, for me that's it. Like, I'm not gonna keep looking or keep doing because I can, and it's nothing to do it. I did it without breaking a sweat, and if you was there, you would know.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? But like I said, my jersey is hung, and it's a new era now, and everybody got to shine. I'm an OG in this shit. I'm a young OG.
Young OG. So then, as far as DJs, what would you say? How'd you get? Like, what do you look for in a DJ, and what would you say a bad DJ is?
A DJ gotta have discipline too, like what we spoke about earlier.
Being on time, shit like that.
When I say discipline, that's definitely one thing. Being on time plays a big part. You gotta be early. If you hired to be there at 7 or at 12, be there an hour before. Know what I mean? Check the environment, see what the crowd is like. It might not improve your job that night, but overall it's gonna help you build as a DJ. Definitely be on time. Song selection, you gotta know what songs to play and when to play them. You gotta read the crowd. You gotta see when you get on that set, all right, they dancing to this, let me stick with this, because if you go with that, you might change the whole environment of the club. I'm not a DJ, but I'm just going off of my experience, seeing from booking DJs, hosting events with DJs, and just seeing the atmosphere. You know, you read all of that.
So if you could rank like your top 5 DJs, who would they be?
Overall, or like in New York?
Overall.
Because there's a bunch of DJs in the world. I'm familiar with a bunch of them. One of my favorite DJs that I've learned about, that I've met personally and hung with, Kid Capri. He's a legend. He's an old school. I seen him shut clubs down, venues, concerts. Amazing, dope DJ. Shout out to Kid Capri. Pro Style. Not only because he's my guy, but also I seen him fucking turn some places upside down, from fucking 100 people to 100,000 people. You know. Yeah. Shout out to Pro Style. Self, I like Self too. Self is an entertainer. He's more than a DJ. You know. I like Self.
Yeah.
What's the dude in Miami? EDM guy, I forgot his name. DJ Irie, I think his name is. I don't know if he's from Miami, but he's always in a lot of events. Yeah, he's like a EDM DJ. Irie, he's big. And last one, damn, it's hard. It's so many DJs. I like Drama too. Drama because he come from that era, you know, putting out mixtapes, footwork, flyers, shit like that. So for him to come from where he started to be where he's at now, head of a label, putting his own artists out, that's what you look for. You know, you want to start off as something and then become something. you can't do something. You can't do the same thing forever. It don't work. Nothing
Yeah.
good lasts forever. Everything has its run. Run with it. Take advantage of it while you could, and then move on to the next opportunity. But as I mentioned earlier, never burn a bridge. You're gonna need to cross. You know what I mean? Simple.
So then, how would you, as far as when you say take advantage of the situation, some people could see that as a negative, but explain that, like what in a positive way, or what you mean by that from a business standpoint, taking advantage of a situation.
Yeah, you can't look at it as a negative. If you look at it as a negative, it's gonna be negative. You feel me? That's how I say. But basically, it's like you gotta run with it. If it's working for that moment or for that time period, and everybody's on the same page, run with it. And you can't look at it as a negative, because it's like basically, damn, I don't even know how to put it. You gotta run with the situation while it's moving, and if everything is good, you don't burn no bridges, cool. Shake hands. If it don't work out, or y'all don't feel like it's gonna continue building, or whatever it is y'all doing as a collective, as long as everyone has that mutual respect, I feel like everything is good. We don't gotta do business partners together, but cool, you still my homie. If I see you, what's up? Whatever it is, because everybody ain't your friend. You can work with people, but they not there for your best interest. They might just want to work with you just because what you can bring to the situation.
Yeah.
But if you can't be used, you useless. Know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, if you can't be used, you're useless, right? And that's, people have something to gain, you know, and it sort of kind of, it could suck, but it could also be a good thing, you know, because now that means you're in position. You know, you're in position to put somebody else on. You literally putting food on somebody else's table.
Right.
As far as the people you do business with, or the people you keep around with, what are some like non-negotiables? Like, you gotta be solid, or you gotta be trustworthy. Like, so in your camp, like, how do you get in the Jay Walker camp?
Loyalty is definitely that's one
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, and it's not only my camp, I mean, because me, I don't, like, it ain't like we out here recruiting people or things like that, but just anybody you dealing with in general is like loyalty on a business note, friendship, however, loyalty is one big thing. Y'all gotta have that understanding with each other. Everybody gotta be on the same page, and you gotta have some kind of knowledge on what's going on. You can't just want to be a part of what's somebody got going on because you know it. If you ain't bringing nothing to the table to contribute, and he don't want you around, you might look at it like, oh, he acting funny or shit like that. But
Yeah.
it's more of a liability. You know what I mean? And that's how people that's moving and that's doing shit look at shit.
Yeah.
And it might sound crazy, but it goes back to what I said earlier. If you can't be used, you useless. If you can't bring nothing to the table, why you want to sit with me?
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, and you could take it how you want it, but it is what it is at the end of the day, and it's just how it sounds.
Yeah, no, and you can't be sensitive to something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
you can't.
You-
Especially in business.
Yeah.
Why would a person want to work with you in business if you can't do nothing? You feel me?
Yeah.
To contribute to the situation. If you just there, just hanging around, and I mean, you just a liability. You just there to be there, just to look cool. Like, I don't want you around if you trying to look cool.
Yeah.
You could bring something to the table, then we could work.
Yeah.
You want to do business with me, and you feel like we could be good business partners, we could do that. Know what I mean? It's all about the approach. Never be scared to approach someone for a business dealing or just to network neither, because that's the problem with a lot of people. Since young, that's one thing I always had, the gift of gab. I know how to talk. I could sell anything. I could pitch anything. And it's all about how you do it and what you make of it. You can't be scared to talk, and you gotta ask questions. If you don't know, ask questions. The only way you're gonna learn is if you try. The same way they always used to say, you fall on the bike, you get back up, keep riding. Same concept, just in a whole different fit.
Yeah, that's true. So then, as far as business relationships and personal relationships, how do you set those boundaries, or how do you learn, like, all right, like, this is just a business partner, or this is just my man's. Some of them mix and some of them don't.
Well, for me, a lot of friends around me, they all been around me for more than 10, 15 years. Anybody you ever see around me, it won't be somebody I just met like a week ago. You feel me?
Say, been rocking since 06.
And not only that, me with my friends, like a lot of my friends don't have businesses or don't have opportunities or X, Y, and Z. So like I mentioned earlier, I always try to create something. So if I ever got in the club, I always try to figure out, before I hire somebody else, let me try to figure out how I could improvise and put my homie on to work this or work that. And that was for the club, for the clothing, whatever it is that I had going on. You know, like if we could do something collectively and all make something off of it and build as a whole, that's what it's about. Because for one person to run something successfully, you could do it, but it ain't easy. You feel me? And I commend anyone that's doing it, and I commend you, my guy Zoe, because he got this platform. He's building this platform, and it's not easy for somebody that's just doing it alone, you know? And like I mentioned earlier, support your homies, man. Niggas be supporting these rappers, posting happy birthday to Jay-Z. That's the most craziest shit I be seeing on the internet. Happy birthday to GOAT, Jay-Z. But won't post they right-hand man or a nigga they grew up with, or just even text him. You don't gotta post him. Know what I mean? Text him on his B-Day though. You know when his B-Day is. And if you don't, that ain't really a man. You feel me?
B-Day's Friday, by the way.
And if you got him on Facebook, the shit pop up. So that know what I mean? Like,
there's no excuse.
Yeah, like,
there's no excuse.
So all that, like, oh, how you been, or you ain't reach out, like, bro, if you looking for someone, you know how to reach out, you know how to find them. It's all about how far you willing to take it.
Yeah, support is free. And for me, you know, I get into it with my family members, and it's like, yo, like, you sending me other people's content. You sending me TikTok, you sending me this, you sending me that. Repost my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and it's gonna be, and you can fact check this and write it down, take a picture, remember it, watch this video. Conversation with Zoe is gonna pop. I know it. I feel it in my blood. I see the vision. We on our way. 90 subscribers a year ago. Before COVID, I had 90 subscribers. Now, over 510 subscribers. I'm halfway to 1,000. I'm halfway to that YouTube check. YouTube money is coming my way. You can't ride the wave. Ride the wave with me now.
And in the future, if there's anything that I could do if I could help with getting you X, Y, and Z as a guest, don't hesitate to holler. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You see?
I'm here.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
I'm here for the cause, and shout out to all the upcoming brands. You know, there's a bunch of brands that I'm dealing with in the mix. The Real Grabber, The Real Fronto. Make sure you check them out. TheRealFronto.com for all my 420, my Blazers. Anybody that smoke, make sure you check out TheRealFronto.com. We got a partnership that we about to do with them. Basically, it's a leaf cigar company. They make Fonta leaf, they make Grabber, and that's like the whole new wave for smokers now. So we about to tap in with that. Woka NYC, the clothing line. You see what's going on. Excuse the bad hair day, but
see it. Mind over matter, baby.
5950. This ain't that green bottom you buy from the African spot. Know what I mean? So support your local brands. Mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. All type of options, all flavors. We got the dog pet company, BougieBarkNYC.com. So if you got a pet, rabbit, cat, dog, we got accessories. We got clothing for the pet. Make sure you check that out. Shout out to Ben Lace, another upcoming clothing line in NYC that I support. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about, you know, just supporting.
Yeah. So what made you start? So now that we can tap into Woker, like, what was it about it that it was like, whoa, like, I'm gonna go into fashion? Or have you ever had like an interest in, why am I with his shit when I can wear my own shit? Was that?
Well, what you just said is definitely 50% of it. I always been a brand ambassador for multiple companies within the past 10 years, and I've helped other companies grow from scratch to what they are now. And basically, brand ambassador, for those that don't know, they pay you to promote their clothing. to wear their clothing. Basically, it becomes a lifestyle. The same thing Meek Mill does with Puma. You see him in Puma posting it up all day. Same concept.
Yeah.
I used to get paid to promote X, Y, and Z brand. But basically, that's what we was doing. And it just came to the point I was wearing so much of these people's clothes, and it was like, bro, I'm getting paid to promote it. That's cool. It looks good. But I feel like I could do the same shit and capitalize off of it. You feel me? And that's what I did. And definitely the pandemic, prior to the pandemic, it played a part in it. And if you ain't get your hustle game right, or you ain't figure out what you want to do during this pandemic, right when the whole COVID popped off, then something's going on, and you gotta figure it out before it's too late. Like I said, don't wait until you finish college, cause college ain't for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't go to college. I never went to college. But it don't work like that for everybody. I'm not saying don't go to college. You want to go to college, if you feel like for what you want to do in life, you want to go to college, go do that. But it don't work like that for everybody. And I was just thankful to create the path since young and not wait so late. Because I know a lot of friends right now that I went to high school with, there's 4 years in college, 6 years in college, and they work in Walmart, security, bringing up registers at Target. And I'm not saying those is bad jobs, but if you're gonna do all this time to go get a job like that, you don't need that. You don't need that to do that.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like, don't invest energy on time in something that you ain't gonna benefit from, or longevity down the line you can't profit from.
Yeah,
That's
really,
all.
definitely started early. Definitely get into it early. And it's one of those things where I said this at the beginning of COVID. That job that you was complaining about, that didn't give a shit about you, just furloughed or fired your ass.
COVID made me a monster, and I ain't leave the house. I came back from South Beach probably right when all the masks and shit, they start closing everything that same weekend. And right from that weekend, I stood home in my house probably for about 6 months. I ain't even go to the store. My girl grabbing everything. She doing grocery, she doing this, she doing that. Certain things you paying for to do. But I say that to say this, I was comfortable in my space. And you gotta create some kind of environment, whether it's your home, if you can't do it in your work office because you working all day and you don't got time to work on your craft, you feel me, and you trying to start a business or do something and become an entrepreneur, you gotta put the same energy that you trying to put into your business or your brand that you putting in working that 9 to 5. You feel me? So if you work a 9 to 5, I'm not saying come home and work another 8-hour shift on your brand, but you gotta invest the same energy. If not, it'll never work.
It'll never work, yeah. Absolutely. So where do you see Woker NYC going? Like, where do you envision it? Like,
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, you see the merch too. We got all type of shit. Check the website out, WokerNYC.com.
WokerNYC.com.
As far as Woker, basically it's been a year now. We got the 1 year anniversary, the basketball jerseys that we just dropped, so make sure you go check that. It's been a year now that we've been up and running. Website is doing great, and I set a goal when I first started, and I think I probably tripled that goal within a year. So you know, it's only up from here. Eventually I want to get it to a platform that maybe I could sell it to a big company to get it in one of these places or one of these stores or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just what business is about.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta put you on, I don't know if you know the people over at Bronx Native, but they doing some good things, and they're really big on supporting Bronx businesses and local entrepreneurs. Amadi Grullon, my guy, he's a big entrepreneur too. We did an episode.
Shout out to the Bronx Native. What's
Shout
up?
out to Bronx Native. So, you know, future collab, get something going. I definitely got some ideas. I got a pitch by you off camera. But, you know, as always, I always want my guests to give a message to the youth. You know, so one of the things you always say is start early. But if you could see a young 12-year-old kid right now, and he said, hey, you know, how could I become you, or what could I do in life? What would you tell him?
Well, I won't say try to become me, because like I said, everyone has their own outlet in life, but I will say you gotta have discipline in whatever you want to do in life. Figure it out at young. If you want to try to pursue a sport, you gotta be out there every day.
Yeah.
Whether it's practicing, playing it, working out, developing that craft, because Michael Jordan and LeBron ain't become who they were overnight. You gotta put that work in. You could work an hour a day, 2 hours a day, but you gotta be consistent. Consistency is another one. If you're not consistent and you don't keep going and pushing, trying to develop and build, it'll never be what you want it to be. And keep going. Never get discouraged. Never settle. Always want more. And leave the hood. Get out of your environment. You come across some money, you working, you getting yours, take a trip. Know what I mean? Instead of going to the club, buying 2 bottles in the club, for all my young cats that's not 21, that's still in the club spending money, I've been there, I've done that. Save your money, invest it differently, take trips, and live life, because life is short. You know, and during COVID, I lost a lot of friends. Jay the Bouncer, one of my security guards that was well known. He worked for Nicki Minaj, designer, a bunch of well-known artists. He passed prior to COVID, not because of COVID, but R.I.P. to him. Fred the Godson, one of the greats. R.I.P. to Fred. Life is short, you know, so enjoy it, live it to the fullest, and like I said, never settle.
Absolutely, man. So your vision should go past, you know, the end of your block, and that's what we want to inspire the youth to be. You know, start early. Whatever you're passionate about, people may not always understand. So this is to piggyback on what he said. You can't tell a big dream to a small-minded person. That's the quickest way to shoot a dream down.
And to add on to that, never take advice, or not advice, but like prime example. Let's say if you ask somebody, "Oh, how is it in this city?" right? And they give you an answer, but they never been there.
That's useless.
That's just a prime example. And I hear shit like that, and it's just like, bro, how can you comment on something if you never been there? You know, and it's just
you've
like,
never done it. Yeah.
So that's just to add on to what you were saying. Sorry to cut you off.
No, never. So that's exactly it. You know, you want, if you've been there and that person is reputable and you see that person that's successful, everyone has a different, that like he's successful in his own realm and I'm successful in my own, but we're both successful in our own way. So not everybody, your own mother may not fully understand what it is that you see. When you close your eyes at night, young man, young woman, not everybody can see. That's your vision, that's your dream.
Exactly.
So imagine this. Imagine people that lived their whole life with no dream, with nothing that they felt was bigger than the world for them to accomplish.
And you gotta have passion for something too. Now,
Yes.
I mean, with no passion, I mean, it ain't gonna work neither.
If you're passionate,
You gotta want it more than the
want it.
next person, because there's 1,000 people trying to rap. There's 1,000 people doing clothing. There's 1,000 DJs. What's gonna make you different from the next person? What's gonna make them click your link or whatever you promoting or your brand rather than checking out the next one? You gotta stand out. You gotta be different, and you gotta have a voice and a platform.
Absolutely. You know, so once again, you know, check out WokaNYC.com.
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be out this week. Definitely like, subscribe, comment. You know, check out the brand, support the brand,
All
support other
social
local
media
brands.
at JWalker165.
Yes, sir.
Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus, YouTube, all that. We outside.
Absolutely.
Conversations with Zoe. Episode, what is it?
72. 72 episodes already.
Appreciate
right?
you for having me.
Absolutely.